Welcome to the Middle Sisters, where we dive into the middle of everything. I'm Afton. I'm solo today without Mitzi, but I do have a friend here for my 40th episode. Her name is Marlene Davis. She is a master certified life coach and certified trauma coach. She's also a certified professional mental health coach by Dr. Amons. So, Marlene, you have a lot of research. You have a lot of certificates. You've done a lot of trainings about brain research, about life coaching, mental health challenges. Tell us, a little bit about what you love to learn about.
Hi, Afton. Thank you for having me here in your podcast. Probably your audience noticed that I have an accent.
Yes.
I am original from Peru, live in Argentina. I work in Argentina as a professional nurse and working in a psychiatric clinic. Different hospitals also give me that desire in my heart that I can do more research about mental health. So when I came to United States, is the number one what I did is learn to speak English because I do not speak English. And then I started doing trainings and I travel around United States attending seminaries and conferences, all related about brain research.
So you have this passion. You've had this passion even when you lived in Peru to learn about the brain and how the brain develops. We were talking a little bit before about trauma in early childhood and how it follows you as an adult.
Right.
So
trauma, I think I shared a little bit about this concept, Black's love. Love heals trauma.
Oh, that's really a good wisdom. So trauma blocks love, and then love heals trauma. Okay. Yes, that will be our gift to the audience to
Yeah, and this concept, I am not the one who discovered this, is Dr. Frank Anderson. I attended one of his seminary or workshops, and
it was called Calm the Storm that we went to, or a different one?
This is a different Frank Anderson. The one we went is Jeremy Anderson, which they are not related.
But both psychiatrists?
They are both psychiatrists. Mm-hmm. Okay. I met Dr. Anderson many, many years ago in California, attending professional development classes for educators. Mm-hmm. And so I really like so much about. He also created this program called IFS, Internal Family System.
Okay.
So it's a way of a therapy to treat people who, been through chronic or acute trauma. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you have a lot of background information to share, because we were on a road trip. Marlene and I left Phoenix, Arizona yesterday morning, and we drove through Kingman and then to St. George, Utah. We had a nice meal at a Peruvian chicken restaurant. And we just talked about trauma and secure attachment, about childhood, about adulthood, about all kinds of mental health. And then we kept driving. We said, we can make it to Provo. So we stayed the night in Provo, and then we kept driving. And so we're just up in the mountains in
beautiful mountains.
Utah. Right, beautiful mountains. There's little snow-capped mountains. So we're here enjoying the weather, the cooler weather. So we're going to talk more about, the journey that you've had learning about the neuroplasticity. Mm-hmm. Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Neuroplasticity. Tell us what neuroplasticity is.
Yes, neuroplasticity is a way the brain, when we go through situations can be traumatic or, whatever, when we were kids, experience can be neglect or abuse or trauma. Through neuroplasticity, we can change the brain neuron circuits. We can create new patterns. And it's possible because we can make changes. You know, when you was 40, you are not the same person when you are 50 now. And so we make changes. Our environment can change. We can become more resilient to situations, and that's what we want. So through neuroplasticity, not only we create brain neurons or new brain neurons, but also we can create our own new habits. When we create healthy habits, anything related about healthy habits can be physical habits, like being more outdoors, being more consciousness about the diet that we eat. If we do physical exercise, anything related about the physical component is going to help our brain and our body and our mind to be connected.
So when I was a third grade teacher, I taught my students about the neural pathways in the brain. So when we talked about the food that they're eating, you are what you eat, you're like feeding your body and your brain fuel. What kind of fuel are you giving it so you can get through the school day? Also, we talked about multiplication facts. You're creating new neural pathways as you are practicing those math facts. And those pathways can either be like a little trail, it can be a dirt road, it can then become a concrete path, and then a highway. So whatever you're feeding the brain, those neural pathways can get deeper and deeper into the brain.
That's right.
So go ahead.
So this allows, so through neuroplasticity, we can recover from brain damage and adaptation to new challenges. So we have a magnificent organ, our brain. I was absolutely amazed about when I learned so much about brain research, how the brain works, how we can take care of our brain. This is something that I learned a lot from the University Amen, Dr. Daniel Amen. He's out there all over the country and also doing a lot of podcasts and information around the world. How important it is to take care of our brain. And the moment that you get up, what do you do? What is your habits in the daytime?
Oh, even in the beginning of the morning, your habit to even breathe, right? And what you're feeding your brain, what you're feeding your mouth, right? To give it the oxygen or the nutrients.
Yes, exactly. But the morning routines, you get up in the morning, you open your eyes, and the first thing you grab your phone and start checking your messages, or you get up in the morning and you have this relationship when God, the spiritual part of you can give thanks for a new day and start your physical exercise. You can start, doing like a mindfulness meditation or whatever.
Or morning walk.
So it can help you to have a healthy brain. So how important it is to be disconnected from anything related about, screen time. So just be more outdoors. And just a few minutes just being from to nature, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so you can walk, that really is going to increase very important neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, neuropinephrine. So those important neurotransmitters is going to help you to become more positive and also to give you a sense of, I feel calm. I have control over my emotions.
So I read an article about forest bathing, and I looked that up more. Like, forest bathing? Are you bathing in the forest? But it's really oxygen from the trees, and you're just bathing like your body, your mind, your spirit in the trees, in nature. So I know that's very important to be part of nature for your mind, your physical body.
That's right.
And so many people hold their breath now. They're go, 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 go. They don't take the time to really get the oxygen in them.
Yes, we talk about also the importance about, the nervous system, how to calm the vagal nerve.
Yeah, the vagal?
Vagus nerve.
Vagus nerve, yes. And we did learn that in our workshop with Dr. Anderson.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how we calm that. With mental health, we need to do a lot of different things, not just in isolation, but with a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned at that workshop that you do need to have people around you that are positive influences. They, will...
Social engagement.
Positive.
Right,
community.
because we need that, right? We have a social brain. So our brain needs connection, making eye contact, say hello to people, holding hands. Physical touch is important for a healthy brain. So we need a hug. We need to touch people. And I think this situation that we are living more in digital,
Yes.
the digital world, where it's more about a screen. So we are not connecting physically with people, and we need that.
So we're both grandparents, right? We're grandmas, and we have young toddlers. And so we do want to influence our grandchildren to be away from the screens, because we'll go out to lunch and we notice a young mom scrolling through her phone with a toddler sitting right next to her. And it breaks our heart, because we think that young mom needs to be engaged with that young toddler, because, it's like the toddler doesn't interact with the parent, and then they're just kind of there. And so even that affects your neural pathways, right?
Absolutely.
For connection and attachment.
So the way that their child learns about social cues or social engagement is by communication, be in contact with the mom. The facial expressions. A smile means, oh, my mom is happy, and my mom is serious, something, So all those facial expressions, touching, talking, that is a growing neurons in the child's brain, right?
So if a child grows up without this secure attachment, are they like highly sensitive later? Are they emotionally immature? Like, there is some effects that happens within those first 3 years of development.
Absolutely.
That can carry on.
Yeah. So experts in early childhood education, they talk about the 8 incredible years. So 0 to 8 years old, how important it is to meet the emotional needs of a child. So for, development, for brain development. And the most important is a physical connection with the child, holding, hugging, touching, talking, and the safety at home. How important it is to have a safe home. So the way mom and dad, how they interact with each other. If, there is a lot of stress, circumstances like that, and there is no such a thing like a perfect family, but there is a family, he can be more functional, more,
And so if there's a lot of screens going on, it leads into maybe neglect even, right? Yeah. Neglecting the child's needs or just emotional needs. Just having those facial... There was a TED Talk I watched about this, and they actually did a demonstration on the stage where the child was interacting peekaboo with the parent, and then happy baby, happy child, happy parent, and then all of a sudden they switched and they had a phone in front of the parent, and the child became distressed. They were kind of like, okay, what's going on? Because I'm totally being blocked away from my parent. Almost like the peekaboo, but not coming back and showing like, I'm here. Don't be scared. I'm here, And so when they started showing that the baby was in distress, when the parent wasn't paying attention to him, it really talked about the development of the child and that secure attachment. So it is so important that we engage with our children.
Since, newborns, right? Mm-hmm. So when they receive this connection, physical connection from the mom, meeting the needs of the child when he's crying, when he's fussing, immediately connection. What a beautiful experience it's going to be for the baby.
So when you said earlier that love heals trauma, so then if someone goes through life with neglect or feeling traumatized, you can change those neural pathways, right, with love.
Absolutely. Yes, we are constantly changing. Our because through neuroplasticity, right, our brain is changing constantly. All is about the environment that we are living. If I feel safe, I am protected. If my needs are met. So all is very important. Everything what we do every single day matters a lot. For our for brain development for children and also for adults, that we feel safe and my life will thrive.
Thriving is the most important thing, right? At any age. Any age, because we all need to thrive. And as teachers, we say you never stop learning, right? So your brain is always going to be developing, and just keep reading, keep going out in the community and serving, being around positive people. So if you're not around the right people, then yes, you're going to stay stuck, right? And so you need to find that community of positive reinforcement.
And it's all about the energy that you are projecting to people, right? So if your life works good and you have a stability in your life, so project that. You project that as, have a beautiful smile in your face. You talk, you are kind, you share, you socialize with people. But if you are not happy, something is going on with you, so you don't have the desire to interact with people. You insulate yourself.
Oh, so that's where depression comes in. A lot of people find it so difficult to get out of the house or go into social circles because we have things like social anxiety, depression, right? And there's a lot of youth nowadays that say, I can't do that because I have anxiety, or I don't ask me to do anything because I'm too afraid. So what kind of advice would you give to like teens and youth that maybe they were so isolated with screens, with games, and now it's like it's too difficult for them to go get a job or to go out in the world and find a new circle of friends?
Yeah, how important it is about parenting, right? So parenting is vital, positive parenting, peaceful parenting at home, establish clear boundaries, establish clear structures. I always, when my kids they were little, I always show it to them. The right hand is love and the left hand is structures. So you are going to receive from mom a lot of love.
Yes.
And structures. And those work together, love and structure.
Yeah, we've learned that as teachers. Children thrive on routine. So if a child doesn't have a routine, there's a lot of chaos going on in their body and mind because they don't feel safe, right? So it's, as a teacher, those children come into the classroom, they know exactly what they need to do. Get out your folder or start on your morning work or whatever, so they can feel calm and know what to expect, right?
Right.
So, children need chores, right, as a structure and a routine.
Yeah.
They need to have like a bedtime or a bath time set so that they can count. Story time, yes, so they can count on these routines. And it takes out the stress and worry.
And regulates their internal clock for the children, because they know what is next every activity. Okay, next is going to be my, story time, and then my family prayer with mom and dad, and then good night. And that's the way that you create a, peaceful and safe environment for the children to thrive. And for teenagers, all is about the role model from mom and dad. If as a mom, I'm going to tell my 16 years old, be away from your phone, but my 16 years old sees me that I am with my phone, so what kind of example I'm giving to him? Right? So if I say no social media, but I am just on Facebook, Instagram, so all is about being a good role model. So engage more time. There is very beautiful experts in early childhood education. They talk so much about. You can spend 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, every day, when your child, when the one that you are disconnected, the one that is constantly creating issues at home, when discipline. So you just have him or her ask you 20 minutes time that you one-on-one you are going to spend time with your child. Is going to reduce 50% of stress situations at home or any behavior problems.
Really? So
It's going to
one-on-one
reduce.
time with a child
Yeah.
reduces 50% of the chaos, the anxiety, the contention, the confrontational
Yes.
issues at home. Interesting.
Yes.
Because you're fulfilling their
Needs.
and that one-on-one.
And what do you do on one-on-one? Is your child has to select the activity that he or she wants to do. Like in this case, you can play a board game, but let her choose what board game. Or I wanna read a book. Let your child to select the book. So some activity.
So they have control.
Yes.
You want to give them control of the situation, but you're giving them time
20
and love
minutes.
and structure.
Just 20 minutes
Just 20
every
minutes.
single day when the child is having some issues that you are disconnected. So you know when they're when there is family disconnection, so there is
So you
misbehavior.
can heal it. Yes, you can, remedy the situation,
Yeah.
right? With time.
So and that was scientifically proved that those 20 minutes it counts. So you make eye contact, you touch, you laugh, and the child feel like I'm important. So I don't have to misbehave for getting the attention from my mom.
Yes, because it's negative attention. So did you learn that with Becky Bailey's Love,
yeah.
Discipline? Or
I
what was
did.
her books? Becky Bailey
Easy
had
to love, difficult to discipline.
Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline. And then
From
there
Becky
was
Bailey.
and there was Positive Discipline
Yes.
too, right?
Conscious discipline.
Oh, Conscious Discipline. I read those years ago as a teacher.
Amazing expert.
So Marlene did workshops
I
for
did.
Mesa Public Schools way back in the day for Parent University,
For
right?
more than 20 years.
20
working
years
with the
teaching
Hispanic
parents.
community.
Oh, very nice. So that's an important tool for all parents to have is that time and attention and love. And not really just for the child that's disconnected, but for every child, right? So they feel important and they have one-on-one time. So with my kids, after my husband passed away, we all got a gym membership. So the 3 kids and I, we would go to the gym, we would get on the treadmill, we would do weights, the circuits, and Hillary and I would do Pilates. So I really believe in stress, that physical fitness, that moving the body reduces so much stress, anxiety, and grief, really. So when one of them would say, oh, I'm so depressed or I'm so sad, I'm like, okay, let's go for a walk or run around the block or let's go to the gym. And those natural endorphins give you that dopamine, right? So
Increase all those important positive hormones or positive neurotransmitters.
naturally, right?
In a natural way. So there are so many modalities, and I use it a lot in my practice as a coach with my clients. So I, share with them all my research about, how to increase, dopamine, serotonin, to just give you the sense of, the sense of peace, calmness, and at the same time you feel motivated. So you don't have to depend from a magic pill for you to increase dopamine or serotonin. You can do that in a natural way. Ways like mindfulness meditation, physical exercise, yoga is incredible. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, I meet this wonderful psychiatrist.
Oh yeah, let me say his name again. Bessel van der Kolk.
Bessel van der Kolk.
And where did you meet him?
I met him at University Oxford.
Oxford in England.
In England.
So you flew over there to do a workshop.
I flew there to listen to be part of this large conference in Europe. It's one of the large conferences in Europe every year in the fall. So I meet him at the same time I saw Dr. Frank Anderson, an amazing psychiatrist, when his program Internal Family System that I absolutely highly recommend to check his work.
Internal Family Systems.
Internal Family System. And several more experts in mental health, especially in trauma, the trauma healing. And so, listening Dr. Bessel van der Kolk and talking with him. So by the way, he has an amazing book The body keeps the score, that I highly
The
recommend.
body keeps the score.
Yeah, the body keeps the
Is
score.
that similar to the book you gave me, Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die?
Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die, from
Yes.
Carol Truman. Yeah, amazing book too.
All right, so tell us Bessel van der Kolk's
Kolk's.
book again.
The body
Keeps the score.
Mhm.
Yes, the body.
Yeah,
keeps
it's
the
about trauma healing. And so he talks a lot about the importance of yoga. So he used yoga as a modality to treat veterans from the war, so who came with a severe PTSD.
Oh, for PTSD. Wow. So yoga is underutilized, really.
Yeah, right? So
Yeah.
yes, it's so sad here in United States, but you go to another countries, and absolutely, like I talk with people from India, they believe in yoga. I have an incredible IG doctor that we are friends, and he said, yeah, that's the way we practice yoga to, give you a sense of calmness, your nervous system,
Yes.
the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So breathing exercise help you to calm your nervous system. Yoga the same. So when you feel like these symptoms of anxiety or panic attacks, just go into the gym for 45 minutes, or even in your house, you can practice yoga. You will see what happens.
And
after
you
that.
exercise those muscles you rarely use, just going for a walk, right? You're doing balance techniques, you're doing different muscle movements. So I know a lot of teachers that do go to yoga studios because of that. At the end of a stressful work day, they go to the studio, they calm their mind, their body, and then they're ready to do it again the next day, so.
I had an experience recently when I was, working all day with my clients, and I came home. I felt this heaviness of energy, and I felt also my cortisol was increasing, and I felt why I feel so tense. My muscles were tense and rigid, and this anxiety that I was experiencing. So what I did is I walked to my house, washed my hands, take off my clothes, and put in some comfortable exercise clothes.
Yes.
And then I got and opened my yoga mat and start doing 30 minutes yoga. 30 minutes only.
Yeah.
I tell you, after like I just feel in the middle of doing my exercise, because I practice yoga, and I start breathing. Oh, I feel like a new person. I feel more focused, calm, and ready to start cooking dinner.
Oh, really?
And
See, I would be like, I'm ready to go take a nap. I would do yoga in the evening, and then it would just calm me down so much. I was ready to go take a shower and go to bed. Because the meditation at the end of a yoga routine, and just laying there and just being calm.
Yeah, all that energy that I was walking in, and I don't want to carry and spread it around with my husband or my son, and just
And we do absorb. We absorb people's energy. And, I'm a talker, you're a talker, but that is part of my healing too, is when I talk it all out. But then I forget that I just laid down heavy burdens on people, right? Especially after I was widowed, I would walk with one of our neighbors, and I walked with you a lot, and we were just like, la, 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 what does the future hold? And then I felt so much release off my shoulders, like unburdened, because I transferred it to someone else. So people that are in the profession like you, and you're listening, you do have to have techniques, modalities yourself to like unburden what you just heard about other people's trauma.
Right. So yoga is one way. I do a lot of breathing exercise, in which I know different types of techniques of breathing exercise. And also there is a good technique that you probably know about, energy freedom technique.
Energy freedom technique.
Yeah, it's a tapping.
Oh, tapping. Yes. I was taught tapping on the collarbone, tapping on different bones in the face, and the wrist. The wrist always helped, and I think because it takes away your attention from the stress going on in the brain, and
it's changing energy.
Changing the energy.
Yeah. So you tap and release it, and there is 7-9 parts of energy points where energy comes in, energy comes out. So and you start tapping with positive statements. That will be in another podcast that we can talk about.
Well, tell me about when we were on our road trip. You're telling me about the rapid eye EMDR, and how that woman discovered it. She left her office, and
Frances. Her name is Frances. I forgot her last name.
I know you told me, but she would just be walking, and there were trees on each side of the road, right? And she just looked from tree to tree, back and forth, and she basically was like, "Wait, I'm unburdened by what I was worried about." She went back to her office and her lab and started writing down this EMDR technique.
Yes, Dr. Frances Shapiro. Yeah,
Shapiro.
She did this. She discovered this amazing eye movement desensitization. I always have a problem with this word, desensitization.
Desensitizing.
And reprocessing.
So
she discovered in
reprocesses your trauma or
memories.
brings it back up and then reprocesses it, right? So with that, I don't know, that is fascinating work.
Yes, it is. And I highly recommend to use for people who suffer with chronic PTSD or anybody who have, mental disorder that is very difficult for, to heal. So EMDR, neurofeedback, there is so many different modalities that you can be treated.
So many that we can look up or just talk to a healthcare professional about. So, we're at our 31 minutes. So do you want to leave us with a little takeaway, a little gift to our audience? I loved what you said before. The trauma blocks love, but love heals trauma.
Yeah, and you need to, for doing something like that, you really have to be open to do the work. And one of the things that I always talk is the importance about to have a relationship with your own self. Sometimes we're very afraid or scared about what we are feeling, our thoughts. Thoughts create feelings, feelings engage in
so thoughts
behavior.
Create the feelings
engage behavior, behavior, creates the results that we are in our lives now. So, and the cycle continues. So we need to be frank with ourselves, with our inner world.
Could journal writing help that to know yourself better? Like, I'm feeling this way. I need to process it by writing it down. Why am I feeling this way? Why did I just react this way to another person?
Right. That will be ideal, right? But that's work for you that you love to write, right?
Yes.
But and for me, probably something different. So there is so many modalities that exist and they are available now, and they bring a lot of research about, talk therapy, writing therapy, walking therapy, now sound play therapy. So there is so many ways
many
to
modalities
do it.
of healing.
But right, so we don't have to depend on drugs or medicine.
You're right. We do have to do the work. It's just like if we were going to lose weight, we have to do the work to eat right and exercise. So same with our mental health. We need to do the work.
And the top number one for me that I believe is what we're doing right now is talking, expressing, social engagement, talking when your friend, when your neighbor, be outside. So this is something that in my culture is very common, and you don't see a lot of.
And I noticed that with you and your culture. Friendly. Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, is she talking to me? And you're like, yes, I'm talking to you. Neighbors, right?
Yes. So we live more outdoors than indoors in my culture, because we are talking constantly with our neighbors next door across the street, which become like a community. We build community there.
Yes.
So you don't see mental disorders so much like I just see here in the
That's
United
interesting.
States.
So the United States has more mental disorders than most
Oh, you
community
see the statistics
countries,
lately. Yeah, it's
the
pretty
culture
scary.
of
Yeah.
communities.
So yeah, that's one way that I can say is talk with people. Just smile. Walking, if you're walking the store, just have a smile and say hello. So be more social.
Oh yes, I'm
open.
always the one to talk to the cashier.
Mm-hmm.
How's your day going? Instead of her just ringing up my groceries, I want to know like how she's doing and if she's having a good day or not. And we usually talk the whole time that she's ringing up the groceries. So I feel like talk therapy does make or break someone's day too. So that's a good takeaway.
Yeah. So that's what I
thank
do
you.
as a coach, working with my clients and how they can become more friends when their inner world, right? And to embrace their feelings and emotions because emotions matter. We're humans.
Yes, and
Right.
have hope that your neuroplasticity, we're always changing our mindset and our brain, that if you feel like you're stuck, you don't have to always be stuck.
No,
There's hope to change and find
because
different
we're
ways
changing.
of modalities to like increase your healthy mental health.
Yeah, so there is a lot of hope.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all that wisdom with us. And thanks for hanging out in the middle of everything with us where we can stir the pot from both sides.
Thank you.